Hi, my name is Rachel. Welcome back to another YouTube video. I am now 1 week out from my next powerlifting competition. I have weigh-ins exactly 1 week from now, and then the competition is the next day. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about setting opener attempts for powerlifting meet. If you don't know, squat, bench, and deadlift, you have 3 attempts for each one. So your opener is your first attempt lift. So if you do not hit your first attempt, you're gonna bomb out of the meet. So it's really, really important that you set an opener that's going to be something that you can hit, but also you wanna make sure you set your opener up to where your end goal of where you wanna be at on your third attempt, you're able to set up easy increments getting from your opener to your third attempt. So we're gonna talk all about that. Let's just go ahead and hop into today's video. So one of the tried and true methods that I heard about when I first started off on powerlifting when choosing opener attempts is that you want to choose something that you could triple on any given day. So my openers are deadlift 314 pounds, bench 143 pounds, and squat 220 pounds. So this was actually a day that I was feeling phenomenal. I've hit 3 reps at 315. This was before I had any of the back issues that I've been having lately. But right now, even on a bad day, like I know I still have 315 for 3, so that's why I know that 314 is a good opener. And this was 140 pounds for 3 that I hit during this most recent week of training, and it was a day that I was in much need of a deload, so the fact that I still had 140 for 3 easily with at least 1 rep left in the tank leaves me knowing that 143 is a good opener. And lastly, my squat opener is 220 pounds. So this is 10 pounds less than my planned squat opener, but it was 210 for 3 on a secondary squat day, RP6, so super easy. I know I have 3 reps at 220 on any given day, so I feel good about all of my openers. So as I was doing that intro, I overlaid my openers at my most recent powerlifting competition. That was about a year and a half ago, right before I got pregnant, gave birth, and now I'm in postpartum. So my goal for this meet is actually just to be slightly above where my openers were at from the previous meet, which is a little bit sad, but honestly, I still feel good about my progress so far because birthing a human, going through pregnancy, that's a huge tax on the body. So just being able to get even close to where I was before pregnancy this soon at only 8 months postpartum is exciting for me. So I'm not going to be too hard on myself there. But anyways, the first thing I want to talk about with openers is timing. When you're in a powerlifting peaking block leading into the meet, you want to make sure that you're testing your openers, that you're confident with your openers. The basic rule of thumb that I heard when I was first starting out on powerlifting is you want to choose something for an opener that you could easily triple on any given day. So another way of looking at that is a single at RP8, something that you know that you could hit. Even if you show up, you're feeling weird, you tweak something, you're feeling a little iffy, you're just not feeling like you peaked well, you're still gonna be able to hit it. And again, you're not gonna bomb out of the meet because you need to make sure you get on the board to actually get an official total PR for the meet. I think you can still continue the meet, but it's just not going to count. You're gonna get disqualified in the competition. That's what bombing out means. So timing for me, what I usually do is at 3 weeks out, that's when I hit my last the heaviest single that I'm going to hit of my entire peaking block on deadlift. And then at 2 weeks out, that's when I usually test my opener. And then 1 week out, I either don't deadlift at all, or I just do something that's very, very light, like second to last warm up, just because deadlift is the most taxing on the nervous system. For squat, if you're a really, really heavy squatter, I'd probably do the same thing, but for me, my squat is much weaker than my deadlift, so I do my last heavy squat single at 2 weeks out, and then at 1 week out, I do my squat opener, and then I do a deload, which I'll talk about in next week's video. And then for bench doesn't really need that much time to recover, especially when you're a female, because you're not lifting that much weight for your upper body. I mean, maybe you're really, really strong, and correct me if you taper off earlier if that's the case for you, but for me at least, I always do my opener at 1 week out, my last heavy bench single at 2 weeks out, and then I do a deload after that. And then I'll talk about this more in the next week's video, but this isn't even related to openers, but I'll still squat and bench 1 more time during that deload week and then take a couple just complete rest days. But again, I'll make a full video on that. The next thing I wanted to talk about with openers, I kind of got at in the intro segment of the video, which is the pacing of where you want to be at between your first and your third attempt. So if you have a goal number for your third attempt, you want to kind of space it out evenly. So what I like to look at is for squat, for me, I feel comfortable with 5 kilo jumps. So my opener is going to be 10 kilos under where I want to get at for my third attempt. And then For bench, I only like to take 2.5 kilo jumps because it's a lot less weight. I don't feel comfortable taking 5 kilo jumps. There's a lot more to lose on bench because I'm not lifting as much as I am on the squat or the deadlift, so I just take 2.5 kilo jumps. So my first attempt is only 5 kilos, less than my third attempt. And then on deadlift, that's where I take a lot more aggressive jumps. I'm not sure how I'm gonna be feeling on competition day, just because I did mention that the main barrier for my competition prep has been my back feeling a little bit iffy. I was gonna say iffy. Just because I tweaked it a little bit, so I've been pulling a lot cautiously. I tweaked it from overstretching, not actually from lifting. But it's unfortunate, so I might only take 5 kilo jumps on deadlift if I'm not feeling good, but usually, almost always, I take 10 kilo jumps between my first and second attempt, and then I take 7.5 kilo jumps between my second and third attempt. So that is the plan. So based on where I'm opening, I'm adding up where I need to be at for my third. Your opener isn't supposed to be something that's super impressive. You shouldn't be like, oh, I need to get a super high opening total, because it really doesn't matter. You want to focus on clearing it, getting all white lights, and setting yourself up for where you need to be at for your third attempt, because you're not planning to miss anything. So your opener should be something that's easy, builds confidence. And also another thing to keep in mind is sometimes the warm-up areas are very sporadic and you might not get the best warm-up. So keep in mind that if you have to jump and skip a bunch of warm-ups and you're not getting your full complete warm-up that you would like to, you might end up feeling a little weird going into your opener attempt. So I would choose an opener that's on the lighter end. When in doubt, always go for the lighter end. And I'm going to replay my openers from last comp because I forgot to mention something really, really important, and that is whatever your openers are before the deload, they're going to move a lot slower than they actually do in competition, unless of course something's feeling really funky and you're dealing with an injury or something like that. But every single time I test my openers and then I actually show up on the platform, it ends up moving so much faster. It feels like air, and that's how it should be. You should be moving it and you should be building your confidence that you know, okay, I'm going to secure my second attempt and I'm going to be able to go for something really exciting on the third attempt. All right, that is all for today's YouTube video. Thank you so much for watching. Again, like I mentioned, next week's video I'm going to be talking about my deload week, and then I'll also be talking about weigh-ins. Weigh-ins are always really exciting. That's when I finally start to be like, oh, I'm actually competing, because for this competition prep in particular, I literally don't feel like I'm in a competition prep because it's been so chill and casual, and I'm really just doing this because I haven't peaked in a long time. So I just want to see where I'm at, and it's not going to be all-time PRs, not even close to it, but it's going to be a fun day and I'm excited to see where I'm at. It will be definitely a lot heavier than I've pushed in training so far, so whatever I end up getting, I'm gonna be happy with. But anyways, thank you for watching. Let me know what you want to see in future videos. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.